No. 1, 2. I think we may now, though. Can you hear me? No audio. Gio saying no audio.
Check.
We should.
Have you
have audio now.
muted your screen? That's it. Okay, great. Thank you, Spooky. Okay, that's fantastic. That's okay. Okay, so basically, we just reviewed. Thank you very much for everybody for tuning in. That was one of the best shows we've ever done.
Yep. Bye-bye.
There we go. Oh, well done, everybody. Well done, everybody. Yeah. That was great. Yeah.
Was another fantastic thing. So let's.
Hang on a minute. No, apparently, we didn't have any audio. We're going to have to do it all again. Okay, never mind. We'll try again. Okay, so welcome to the Austrian Grand Prix. I woke up late and I'm here. And that was basically the first joke that I did. Won't bother repeating that. Okay, so onwards, straight onto the review. Max Verstappen put his car on pole position. A brilliant and very dominating weekend here by Max Verstappen. Very dominating. He led virtually every session. He was untouchable, actually, by both his teammate and anybody else. So, yeah, fantastic to Max again. He's really putting his foot down, which is, of course, what he needs to do in a motor car. Now, secondly, the outstanding performance of the weekend for me, and I'm probably sure for everybody else, was, of course, the great driver, Lando Norris. So, another thing, he put his car on second position, and literally a heartbeat behind, or 2 Lando Norris's lengths behind Verstappen. And, that is just quite incredible achievement as far as I'm concerned, because the McLaren is allegedly nowhere near the efficiency or the power that the Red Bull has, and yet he's right up there. So well done. On a short circuit, you would expect that this is where he could do it, and I'm not going to be holding too much hope out for the next circuit, which is Silverstone. But nonetheless, a fantastic achievement, and we will go through the race result in a minute. Then in third place, Perez. Now finally getting to grips with his Red Bull and putting his car in third place to support the title chances of Max Verstappen, and indeed no.
Perez was not third.
Oh, 1, 2, yeah, he was.
No,
I'm looking at it now.
You're probably looking last race, not this race.
No, you're kidding me. Austrian Grand Prix, 4th of July. Yeah, no, I'm looking at the right one. 1. Max, 2, 3. Yeah, Perez.
You want to bet?
Well, I'm looking at it, so yeah, I guess I do want to bet. I'm going to lose so much fucking money. All right, I'll put an extra couple of bottles for you if I lose. All right.
Oh, I got a third party here. And you want me to ask him?
Yes, please.
Gianni, l'ordine di arrivo del Gran Premio.
Del prossimo?
No, di questo, l'ordine di arrivo. Qual è?
Verstappen, Bottas, Norris, Hamilton, Sainz.
Vieni qua, dillo forte qui.
Verstappen, Bottas, Norris, Hamilton, Sainz, Ricciardo,
no.
Leclerc, Gasly.
No, contra
Alonso, decimo. Ok, sì, Alonso. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Cheers.
No, it's no, that's not right. So I've got Verstappen, Norris in second place.
I hate to break it to you. I remember when I said that I needed to check after all the penalties who was where. Verstappen, Bottas.
I'm talking about the qualifying here. Sorry, I think there's been a misunderstanding. I haven't even done the race review yet. I'm not going through the final positions. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So, Gianni, yes, you are correct when you're talking about the race, but I was talking about the qualifying positions.
Qualifying, okay.
You get a 5-second penalty for an unsafe release. That's what you get.
Okay, so back to my bollocks, right? Because that's what counts. Verstappen, Norris, and then Perez in third place. then I believe Hamilton, then Bottas, and then Gasly. So that was basically the top 6 of the qualifying, I should stress. And basically, yeah, a fantastic qualifying for Norris, Gasly, and Perez. I feel those 3 made exceptional strides since last week. Then off into the first corner. Go ahead.
I think if you're talking about fantastic qualifying, I mean, you should have at least gone up to the 10th place, where there was a big surprise. So,
Well, yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I need sideways. Q3.
Yeah, it's my team. It's my team as well. So
well, it
right.
was a good performance. Jesus, come on.
It was an excellent performance, and one which has been long overdue, and it's been coming. The last few races, he's been improving. They've been improving the car, and we are talking, of course, about Georgina Russell.
Yeah, then during the race he shat the bed, but yeah, okay.
That's true enough as well. That's true enough. But he was disappointed after the race, though. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay,
Let's get through this review.
So
off the line, which I'm just going to have to replay again because I forgot what was going on. Oh yeah, off the line, Verstappen away from pole position to the perfect weekend, the triple header. He was in pole position. He led into the first corner. He led over every lap, and he was maybe not actually. Did he lead every lap? Yeah, I think he led every lap as well, and he led over the line. So a fantastic, absolutely fantastic drive by Verstappen, a real champion's drive, if I may say. Followed by into the first corner, Norris, Perez, and then Hamilton, Bottas, bringing up the rear. So it was just a matter of shuffling around the back. That's what we thought at the beginning, but of course Norris managed to managed to keep behind him Perez and a fast-charging Lewis, who then, because Perez was held up slightly, managed to get past Perez into third place. Then it was just a matter of time. But of course, Norris had a fantastic drive, and in fact managed to keep his position for quite some time. Off on the first lap was Ocon. Usual thing, down into turn 3, a bit of a pincer movement, and he knackered his car. On restart, Perez tried desperately to get around Norris, and in fact did for a moment, but then Norris managed to come back on him. Again, exciting racing with Hamilton all over the back of the two of them. This gave Lewis a run on Perez, and he in fact managed to get past. Oh no, he didn't get past Perez. Then it led into turn 4, where, of course, Norris viciously, callously, and with complete malice, completely ran Perez off the side of the circuit into the grandstands, never to be seen again. Or at least that's the way the marshals and the stewards interpreted it. For us, it was just more a case of, or for me, rather, it was more a case of Perez deciding to jump off the road, because there was a big orange blob in the middle of it. And for that, Norris managed to get a 5-second penalty. And after the race, he also managed to get some points on his license. So I don't know what the stewards were thinking about, but at least they were consistent, because everybody that decided to get on the outside of anybody, if they so much as touched the dirt, then the driver forcing them out there was, of course, given penalties. And ironically enough, that really cost Perez quite a lot of time.
Yep.
So, I guess that's, I guess it's kind of justice in some respects. But I really was, I was a bit like disappointed by the stewarding. This thing. The only real, well, I'll let Fabio say all the stuff about the penalties, because I'm just going to get on for the race review. So anyway. Perez dropped back hugely. That let Hamilton and Bottas and a few others get through onto Lando's tail. That was lap 4, by the way. And there was no contact between the two of them. I should just point that out. It was, in fact, Perez deciding to drive off-road. Then, after a few more laps, and in fact, a time penalty was given to Norris. After lap 20, I think it was around there, Hamilton managed to get past the Norris Meister, and in fact at that point said, what a fantastic driver, what a great driver Norris was, and we were all echoing that. And in fact he managed to get driver of the day, voted by the incredibly intelligent and erudite public. So that was nice. Then, of course, I think Perez, being a bit spooked, decided to try and take just about everybody else out that was coming past him, including Charles Leclerc, the pacey pastry. So he really squished that donut, and that was a little unfortunate. Otherwise, I think Leclerc would have had a much better race. But nonetheless, Leclerc, being a better driver than Perez by a long way, backed out earlier and in fact managed to have another bite at the Jerry on lap 47 eventually to try and get past, when again Perez decided to run him off the road and receive another 5-second penalty. And this one I think Leclerc was justly very furious about. Bottas struggled with his car. Lewis struggled with his car and eventually went over the sausage curbs, damaged his car and started losing time. And this gave Bottas the chance to come up and overtake. So that put Bottas into second place. And then, towards the end, Norris, recovering from his 5-second penalty, managed to get past Hamilton. And that, of course, led the positions then to be, at the end of the race, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris, Hamilton, Perez. So let's just run through that so we see it on screen, because I've forgotten exactly the new format that we do. So the race results. First place, Max Verstappen, a brilliant and dominating race. Second place, Bottas, inherited by the unfortunate car damage. Norris, a splendid but disappointing third place, considering he really had the legs on Bottas most of the race. It was just tyre wear that really got him. Then fourth place, Lewis Hamilton, dropping back with car damage. Fifth place, Carlos Sainz. Again, steady Sainz. He's bringing the points home. Sixth place, disappointing Sergio Perez, who really should have had the 1-2 with Verstappen, but unfortunately, due to penalties, etc., kind of lost it, really. Seventh place, Daniel Ricciardo, beginning to show well, I feel, beginning to get something at least out of it. 10th place, Charles Leclerc. 11th place, 9th place, Pierre Gasly. 10th place, a really stunning point there for Fernando Alonso, who was racing with Russell, who almost managed to get the 10th place, but unfortunately just ran out of laps. So 11th place, Russell. A very good result nonetheless. To beat Yuki Tsunoda, 12th place, who had a disappointing race. And then 13th, Lance Stroll, again disappointing. 14th place, Antonio Giovinazzi. Antonio. 15th place, Kimi Räikkönen, having had a bit of a disappointing, steer into Vettel. Then 16th place, Latifi, disappointing as always in the Williams. 17th place of Vettel, who was kind of forced out. Mick Schumacher, who we didn't really hear much of all race, 18th place. And then 19th place, a fantastic not last for Nikita Mazepin, ahead of Ocon, who was out on lap 1. So that's basically my race review. There's lots I've missed out, but sorry about that, gentlemen. And I'd like to pass that over to Fabio to tell me everything that I've missed and everything that I'm doing wrong, please.
No, I would say it's perfect as always. I think one of the things which characterized this race were the time penalties, as you mentioned. There were basically 3 time penalties which were issued, and they all had one common denominator, which was Perez. So the first one, as you mentioned, was Norris driving Perez wide, which I think was bullshit. I think it was just a racing contact at best. I don't think there was so much to do. I mean, Perez was overly optimistic. He was behind Norris at the time, so I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. And then Perez, had the brilliant idea to do the same thing twice to Leclerc. Now, The first time, I think it was completely at fault. Perez, I mean, he basically did the same thing that allegedly Norris did to him, but differently, because Leclerc was ahead of Perez first of all. So and actually Perez didn't give him any space, not like Norris tried to do. And the third time, again, it was Perez and Leclerc, and that I would say, it was again a racing accident. I think that Leclerc was overly optimistic, trying to overtake Perez in a 200 kilometers an hour left corner, which was, it's possible to pass over there. He tried anyway. And of course, it went outside because was quite inevitable, I would say. But I guess that Leclerc was pissed off by the previous accident and said, okay, you want to go for it, I go for it, and he did it, and that showed great cojones from Leclerc, in that instance. So I would say that of all the three penalties, my personal opinion is that the second one was more than right. The first two, the one against Norris and the third one against Perez, were racing accidents. It was quite funny, I think that once they gave the first one to Norris, they had their hands tied to give the following two to Perez, because basically he did the same thing. Now. So at least the stewards were consistent during the race. I wouldn't say they were consistent in the championship, because I guess, for example, last year something like that happened, and nothing was given away in terms of penalty. But also the other thing, if you gave 5 seconds to a driver for that kind of maneuver, and then he does the very same maneuver against the same driver, and you give him again 5 seconds. Really, come on. If you really are consistent, the second time you should have at least stopped him right away, and say, okay, you're going to take the penalty. It's going to be way more than 5 seconds. You can't keep adding 5 seconds to the guy. That's not the way that people supposedly learn. What else? Yeah, so Norris was able to spend the 5 seconds while changing tires, while Perez had to carry on those 10 seconds at the end of the race, and that's why he got behind Sainz, which wasn't ahead of him on the track, and that's pretty much it. But you already mentioned the good driving performances, from Verstappen was, obviously, perfect but boring. Lewis, fuck me if I know what the fuck, is happening to him, because, again, Bottas ahead of him, really? Wow. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, there was a little bit of car damaged, so.
Yeah, still, 7 World Championship, and Bottas is a butler. So, yeah. Oh, okay. Anyway, it was interesting anyway. So,
yeah. I think they're just buttering up before they sack him after the summer break.
Yeah. So the disappointing was Russell, especially given what he showed in during the qualifying. Very good race by Alonso. It was on fire. Actually, Leclerc, did a good race, I would say. Another one which really astonished me was Sainz. Sainz raced with a maturity that we talked about it last year. How Leclerc seems to be way more mature than he is. I can say right now, Sainz is probably made of the same material, because it's really difficult for a driver to drive like alpha race or 3/4 of a race at what I would say a slow pace. It's not really a slow pace, but take it really easy, and then giving everything, in the last quarter of the race because he wanted to build an advantage with the tires. So that takes, a lot of self-control, and it's not a given, those guys.
Yeah.
Ricciardo made a okay race, I guess. And who else? I mean, I would say that's pretty much it. Gasly was,
No, Gasly was as usual.
Yeah, I mean,
he was there and thereabouts.
Right?
Yeah, he was doing his thing.
The Aston, I think they were a little bit disappointing.
Yeah,
and,
considering. Yeah.
And so another thing which I have to say was the lack of critique that Toto Wolff made to McLaren. The guy has been all over the place with the Honda engine, and I think it was Norris which told him, probably was Christian Horner, which fuck it, if you miss that chance. He said, well, it's really interesting how Toto Wolff doesn't complain about the super speed of the McLarens. Oh, okay, they got the same engine. Yeah, it's not complaining about that engine, right? So yeah, that was something to me, funny to be said. Of course, the McLaren, that kind of track with a low downforce car was good for them.
You're making me. You're depressing me now. You're just depressing me. The fact that Mercedes have had all week to sort out their wing level to give them at least a better time, right, in qualifying, okay? And yet still they go for trying to conserve tyres.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I do not understand it. By now it should be obvious. It should be obvious. And they've already tried to raise the rear end to give themselves a little more rear downforce, okay? And that's kind of worked a little bit. But you can't rely on that, surely. You've got to see. I mean, maybe I'm just naive. Maybe that it's the Red Bull that has the downforce into the corners, the front end on it, and maybe that's the reason. And that's maybe why it's better on its tires. I don't know, but you've got to throw those dice, right? That's the way I see it. You've got to throw those dice.
Yeah.
Ferrari were prepared to throw those dice last year, or the year before, rather, by taking all the downforce off and going, right, we're going to be slow in the corners and fast down the straights, which means that this is how we're going to have to do the car. And I just wish Mercedes would at least try that when they know they're behind.
Well, but that goes with the kind of conversation I think we had a couple of episodes ago. How it seems to be. I mean, that was my impression. I think you agreed. It seems to be that Mercedes is really. It looks well, no, but it seems to me that it's not equipped to be in a position which is not dominant. So when they're racing circles around the others, everything is fine. But if they have to deal with a package which is not super superior, or super dominant, it seems to be that either the reactions are all wrong or it's weird, so
that's why I don't understand it, because okay, well look, if you're in that position, the most important thing to do is to get pole position, or at least be on the front row. So of course you've got to take the downforce off, right, in order to be in a position where if you're not on the front row you can overtake, or you're at least doing the fastest lap you possibly can do, in order to get, have a chance at pole position. And bearing in mind, they realised, and I've heard it in free practice several times, they know they're losing speed down the straights.
Yeah.
Right? And they're talking about, oh no, well, you're losing 0.3 down such and such a straight. 0.3? I mean, come on. Right, this is down to acceleration. Surely you've got to take the rear downforce off.
Yeah,
I don't know. It uses the tyres up, and maybe that's their goal is, we can't use the tyres up anymore. Otherwise, we're just shooting ourselves in the head, exactly like Ferrari did 2 years ago, right, by producing that car. So, and I understand why they did it, and I applaud Ferrari for doing it, because they at least gave us some kind of interest in the season. This is if this goes on like this, That's it. There's no interest in the season.
Right.
So
Right.
what are we saying? Yeah, we know the Mercedes can't run behind other cars, right? We've known that for 4 years now. Right? So do something about it. Get yourself up there, or give your drivers a chance to be able to overtake.
Yeah, but
Only two options.
Yeah, this is also a great challenge for Lewis. Because of yes, some detractors, which will keep on saying, yeah, he's a lucky guy, drives the best car, and blah 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 blah. Which I think, to be honest, it's bullshit. No, I think it's bullshit.
Some detractors, yeah.
No, I mean, I don't like the guy, but you know full well that there are very few racing drivers that I personally like. So, but I mean, this is obviously a bullshit position, but now he has a chance to actually, I would say, prove himself, because he doesn't have to prove himself, but to show really what he's made of. Okay, I have a car which is not the car it's supposed to be. It's not the car I've been driven for 7 years. Okay, let's see what I can do. And right now, I have to say, he hasn't. I don't know if he has risen to the challenge. I think that he has to adapt a little bit, to that position. Mm-hmm. But I would have expected him to be a little bit more, feisty in that.
Yeah, it's too early to tell for me.
No, I understand. I understand. I'm not saying.
We talked about this a few races ago. Again, I mean, this is not new to the people that are watching. Obviously, you've heard us say this several times. Hence the bet, right, between us, of them getting rid of Bottas, right, and getting Russell in, because Russell at least was those 2 tenths ahead of Bottas in that qualifying session and in the race in general. So maybe that's what's required in order to kick Lewis's butt a little and get him to turn up the wick a little, And of course, it makes sense to me anyway, because that's the only way Mercedes have got any chance of hanging on to the constructors. So, but anyway, that's another point. We'll see when it comes to after Silverstone, right?
I think we should start a GoFundMe, to pay the bet that you're going to lose. No, the bet that you're going to lose. What the hell?
Oh, I see. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Well, no, I've spoken to somebody in America about a GoFundMe.
Yeah,
Mr. Rhetoric is actually going to do a GoFundMe for me.
Nice.
Yeah, okay. The beer fund. So that'll be good, and I'm sure that'll work out just fine. Yeah, with no problems at all.
We're golden then. We're covered. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think he set the limit at around £10,000. Even so go fund funk. There we go. Go fuck funk. Should be.
No, but he's right, because I think after Brexit and all that shit, taxes are gonna be a fuck up. So so probably.
Yeah, well, when you send me a case of its fine Italian wine, you'll be laughing on the other side of your mouth. I can assure you of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
If not, I'll send you a couple of cans of Stella, so no worries.
Oh, fuck off.
But anyway, what else have we got to say? Really, we've got to talk about penalties, though, because I think this was an absolutely disgusting an absolute by the stewards, and I'm absolutely horrified. There's supposedly what is his name, Michael Massey. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to be making it so it's consistent, and this was not consistent. All right, there's an unwritten rule in motor racing. If you go around the outside of your opponent, okay, you're probably going to run out of road. Okay, unless you're ahead of the person, and in none of those situations, all right. Well, I mean, the only situation.
Maybe the
second one, and again, the second one. Definitely a penalty, because they'd even got 3/4 of the way through the corner before you could see Perez counter steering into Leclerc.
Yeah.
And the same with the second one. I think his second penalty against Leclerc is also a real penalty because you can see him halfway through the corner starting to steer out. Right now, I know exactly what that means. I've done racing. I know that means I'm going to push the guy off the track.
Yeah. I'm a little bit more, I agree with you. I think the first one was, fucked up. The second definitely was. I'm a little bit on the fence about the third, even if it was against Leclerc. Just because the fact that wasn't the same corner. It's a very fast corner. So eventually the car are gonna drift from the outside. So that's the only thing. But I agree with you. I mean, the second, maybe the third.
I can go that Leclerc was late. He didn't have his car fully alongside. But like I was saying, at the first opportunity, Perez was steering out of the corner.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think if he knows that somebody's there, which he did by that stage, he knew Leclerc was there, then steering out of the corner when you don't need to, right? And especially as it's a pointless thing because, of course, Perez is going to have the next corner anyway. So there's no way Leclerc could have got past in reality.
Yeah.
Right? So all of that was just pointless. Just pointless and bad driving as far as I can see by Perez.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I am shocked that afterwards the FIA did not put points on Perez's license. And they did put points on. Oh, they did. Thank goodness for that. How many?
No. Did he? I mean, a huge
4?
amount. I think 8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that must have really pissed Christian Horner off.
Yeah. 8 points. And while
I'm pleased about that.
Norris got 2 points, which put him. I think they have
10.
12 points. Yeah, he put a 10, but in Silverstone he's gonna take a couple back. So kind of okay-ish.
Yeah,
but
3 off again.
Yeah.
That's okay. At least even if he fucks up, he's only going to get 3. I think 8 is too many, to be fair. But
you see, but that's
and again, sorry, dude. That is exactly the point I hate about it. Right? Those penalties are designed for the specific driver and their situation. They're not designed as some consistent penalty, right?
No, but but I agree with you, and that's the thing I said before. So you give me 5 seconds the first time, okay, and then you give me 5 seconds the second time. That's bullshit. Because the other problem is that he got 10 seconds and Sainz got 1 position, but Perez got anyway inside the 10. Now you've got if you really think that's dangerous driving, let's say that it is. I don't think it was, but let's say that your criteria is that this is too dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
You got to punish the driver way more. At least you got to give a chance the other people to get into the points, because this is where the money really is.
Yeah.
So
I would have thought the first one, if they're going to do 5 seconds, then the second one for me was worse because there was contact, so that would have been a 10-second. Yeah. And then the third one, if that's a penalty, that's got to be a stop and go after that, as far as I'm concerned.
No,
I think that would have been a lot fairer. Plus, cut the bollocks out about points on the license, right? Because none of that was worth points on the license, as far as I could see. That was just okay. If you go around the outside, you run the risk. Okay, if the driver turns into you, fair enough, right? And I think we've got a demonstration here, Peter. If you want to bring up that meme of a professional racing driver, here we go. This is what Damon Hill had to say about it. Oh no, Lando Norris, 5-second penalty. I wish the stewards had been there when I was racing a certain German.
Wow. He's still salty about that, right?
He really is, isn't he? Well, he would have been 2 times world champion if it wasn't for that. So there's that. And again, Mike Schumacher was turning into people. And on those circumstances, that's dangerous driving. Just like Vettel, right, who got away with it, right, when he turned into Lewis that time, when Lewis brake tested him. So again, consistency in Formula One. No, these penalties are designed for the individual driver and the situation they find themselves in. And I'm a little bit disappointed that now we've got Michael Massey making the decisions. And I noticed in the background of those decisions, of course, Ross Brawn is also sitting in that room, right? So I think that's bad news as well, because Ross has been somewhat political about his support for particular teams.
I think that the most important thing is that we can agree that those were shit. I would be a little bit happier if they keep the criteria consistent, so at least because at least there can be a conversation about that, right? I think that the worst thing can happen is that because of the way they've been criticizing the stewards, the next race that doesn't happen. So I'm expecting that either to happen all the races, or better, if there is some kind of clarification from the FIA, recognizing the thing and saying, okay, listen, this is the general, because I understand, you can't really set up a rule for that, right? Because, that would be idiotic. But you can write down the general criteria that you're going to use. And again,
there will be a correction, Fabio. Let me just say that. Of course, we won't get to know about it because it'll be done in the drivers' meeting, and it'll be done behind closed doors, because the FIA do not want. They've had so much shit about their decisions on and off track. They don't want to be criticised, right?
No, but listen,
and that's why I'm saying these were political. These were political in the nature of them.
I'm fine if they have a conversation between themselves, even because eventually that will go outside. Those guys can't keep a secret to save their life. So eventually that will pop up. And even if it's something that happens between them, okay, I'm cool with that. But the main thing is that they have to have a conversation about that. They got to define a criteria, and then we can talk about it. Because right now it's bonkers. Right now, they gave the first one because they were in the heat of the moment, and then the very same thing happened twice, and say, oh, fuck it, we give it the first time, we got to give it that time, and that other time too. So really, no.
It wasn't the heat of the moment. It took like 4 laps before they even announced it, and another 2 or 3 laps before they announced what the penalty was.
Yeah, but
that's not the heat of the moment. That's a political decision if ever I saw one. Okay. Absolutely was. They're desperate for Red Bull to win this championship. I can guarantee you.
Shit!
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not. But all I'm saying is Adrian Newey looks like he comes from another fucking planet.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So
let's bring in our man at the Red Bull ring, and just to confirm and bring us up to date on any stories that are happening after the event. There we go.
Well,
hello, Peter. Welcome.
Hi there.
I can see the sea of orange behind you.
As you can see,
you must have.
Yeah, as you can see,
you must have really enjoyed being there. Please go ahead.
Yes, and obviously the audience got what it wanted. I mean, look how many fans for Lando Norris, all in McLaren orange. They were all here. And that it was a great party, and you could hear them cheer at the end when Norris came to the mic. So yeah, that was awesome. There is a slight problem here still, because I need to deal with some drunk guy who keeps. There he is. Keeps popping up. He's been drunk ever since the race, so I have no clue what the hell's going on, but. Yeah, it's been quite the thing, and a lot of things have been discussed here in the paddock. I mean, I think everyone had the same idea that for some reason Oprah Winfrey was one of the stewards, because even Haas noticed. I mean, they tweeted, "You got a penalty! You got a penalty! You got a penalty!" Obviously, they're missing their fights with the let's not say it, but the energy drink with the bicycle logo. If you remember that, I mean. They've got no one to fight with at the moment. So, yeah, that is going to be a problem. But like in the side chat, I think the topic at the moment has to be the bet between Simos Funk and Fabio. I mean, everyone's talking about it. And so I did some investigation, and as I say, I look on Twitter. I look on Twitter to see things, and I don't know if any of you are on Twitter and may have noticed, but Bottas tweeted race day, and I don't think anyone noticed anything different on his Mercedes mid-season, and he's been talking about you with other drivers, and well, when it comes to bets, who do you go to? You go to Ricciardo, and Ricciardo said, let him get it.
My man.
Let him get a tattoo. And so there was a drivers' meeting about that, and seeing that you are British, they came up with a brilliant idea. An idea that they got actually from Jimmy Johnson, the famous IndyCar driver. You can do that with a suntan, because Jimmy Johnson tweeted that as well. Hold on, why isn't that not working? Okay, then we'll do it this way. You just lie in the sun and tape off certain areas. And as Jimmy Johnson said, he asked the guy, he said, it didn't hurt. Well, if I look at his ears, I very, very much doubt that. So,
Jesus.
but
yeah, well, I'm definitely going to get Fabio to do that for me.
Yeah, I mean,
if I win.
Way.
Yeah, and other than that, the race itself wasn't that exciting, but there have been talks to make it a little bit more exciting, and for that they looked to Mid-Ohio, which was in the prequel of the IndyCar race, and you probably saw that as well, Simon? Or not?
Oh yeah.
What happened?
I haven't watched it yet.
You haven't watched it? Okay. Well, I can help you out because we
no
have
spoilers.
the video.
No spoilers, please.
No,
Go ahead.
we have the video. We have the video. There was a slight fight, and so that's what Americans do. They fight, slap around the face, and then he gets all jumpy and starts teasing him, and let's do steering wheel frisbee. Okay, shall I throw it back? No, I got a better idea. I see your helmet. There you go. That's your helmet. And let's trash it completely. There we go. And everything flies off. The other driver goes and gets a fire extinguisher, but is called off just in time. So these are the things that we actually miss in Formula One. We should get the drivers more involved in the battle, even off the track. So. Yeah,
not if they put that much weight on. I don't think they should. Fuck me, though. Those are not athletes. Come on.
No, well,
maybe fucking truck drivers.
Maybe Nikita Mazepin would be happy if Mick put on a little bit more weight, because obviously he's still driving with the heavier car, which is I don't know, a few grams heavier.
Don't give ideas to Mazepin, because he's bloody Russians. You know, his idea is putting Kalashnikov on the car. So don't give the guys idea.
I think Mazepin may have screwed himself, because as we know, last week he got the toy from Otmar Schaffnauer, the Mazespin. So he thought about a thing, and I don't have the video of that because I couldn't find it fast enough. But apparently he gave Otmar a door, because last season Otmar kicked in a door in a fight with who was it? Not Grosjean, the other guy. I completely forgot about him.
Ocon?
No, the other guy who was driving for Haas last year.
Oh, sorry, Marcus Ericsson.
Marcus Ericsson, yeah. So Schaffnauer kicked in a door, so he got a spare door from Nikita Mazepin, which might not be the perfect gift, because now Otmar can point to him. There's where the door is. You can leave at your own door. Please don't.
Having said that, if you need to have a door on a Formula One car, I think you know you're overweight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just saying.
But yeah, so that was my part. I do have more, but we'll take that until the next race, because there's more coming. There's a lot going on in the paddock. just about who's going to be the next world champion, and it's going to be tough. It's really going to be tough, and
well, I don't think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be a very young person, whichever way it is. But there we go.
Well,
it's still there, Fabio. Still there.
We'll
no, it's not. That's a light in the background.
We'll see. We know that Mercedes will come up with all kinds of conspiracy theories, so I do think there's something in the pipeline, but we'll see next race what is coming.
I'm working on a few myself, just in case I lose this bet.
Peter, don't give him ideas. I mean, he's already mental as it is, and thank God he hasn't mentioned the tires yet. So
damn, he's got me again. He's got me again. I can't do it now.
Yeah, there is no time now. It's over. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we have to cut off. We got to talk about next race, which is going to have an interesting formula. It's a little bit. It kind of looks like the formula that they do in the World Superbike, meaning that they have a. So in the Superbike, they have a race on Saturday, and then they have a Super Pole race on Sunday morning, and then they have the second race on Sunday afternoon. And apparently they're going to have something like a sprint race, which gives points to only the first 3 persons, right? I mean, I'm winging it. So
no, that's right. 1, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, and that will, and that race. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, right. So, and that one will determine the positions on Sunday. So and it's gonna be. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm open for it.
It's Silverstone. What's not to love about it?
Yeah. So,
to be honest, and of course, and then another circuit they're doing that is Monza. So they basically just chosen the circuits which are interesting,
right?
And not that there'll be any overtaking, because you still can't overtake at these circuits, right? They're just interesting circuits. Yeah. So maybe you never know though. If we have a little sprinkle, a bit of je ne sais quoi thrown into the mix, then of course this could be interesting. We need something.
Since I'm the guy that is in charge of the penalties in here, and there are 2 people in here who are not British, I have to make the joke. They chose for a new format in the most conservative country in Europe. That has to be funny somewhere. I mean, so what's the reception in the UK that they're going to do the sprint races? That I'm really curious.
Yeah, no, it's great because we love Silverstone. I mean, it is an awesome circuit to race on or to drive on and to race on. So I think it's a good thing. And to be honest with you, we should have had next year's cars this year, right? That was always going to be the plan. And it goes to show you, right, why the FIA constantly changed the rules and the formula. Because once the teams get into this groove, it's almost impossible to get things to change, right? And then we're just lucky, really, that Honda have turned up, trumps with their zero size engine with more power than the Mercedes. Otherwise, we would have been in for another, what I thought we were going to get, which was, of course, another Mercedes-dominated year. So, but, it goes to show, again, stuff we've already spoken about, right? When Mercedes get behind, their car is no good because it can't follow. They design their car to be out front. Fabio said this many, many times.
Yeah, I mean, just say it.
And it's disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, we would have a British driver on a British car winning, and now we have a British driver on a German car which is not winning. That's what you're getting at. But yeah, I mean, I understand. Yeah.
Yes, it is now a German car because he's not winning. Correct.
Right. It's a German team with a German car. Yes.
Yeah, right. German team based in Britain, of course.
Right.
And the German-British team.
And I guess Red Bull now is getting a little bit more British than Austrian, because
they are in Milton Keynes, of course.
That famous
Austrian city in Britain.
Yeah.
So there you go.
What you guys didn't get to see is the screw up of the Dutch Formula One commentator. He spoke to now I forgot his name. I always forget. Horner. And so he was talking about him, and he says, "Well, everyone back in Brackley will be happy, right?" And Horner was really happy with that. Just saying.
Yeah.
We're a few miles up the road, mate. We're in Milton Keynes. Oops.
Yeah, Brackley is Mercedes, of course.
Yeah. But I'm curious. Simos, are you going to make another bet on the thing that I heard you say this week? Because I keep.
I've done it again, have I?
Well, even if I'm not in the room, you do know that I'm God on YouTube, so I get notifications for everything. And I heard you say that next year there will still be a Honda badge on the engine. So I'm really curious. Yes.
I don't think I actually said that.
Yes. Speed of sound of gravity.
No, I think it'll be Tag Heuer, but maybe I'm.
You said now they're winning. There might be a badge on it. I think maybe.
No, I think you're misquoting me there, Peter.
I don't know.
That's not the type of mistake I would make because I know Red Bull far too well.
Yeah, it would be...
and I mean also Honda historically is famous for that. They just make shitty thing, and the time that they're winning is when they're leaving. That's on the MO right now.
Actually, I mean, I may have said something along the lines of the engine will still be tagged as a Honda.
Yes,
but the team will not be called.
No, the engine. The engine.
Yeah. Oh, they'll still write Honda on the engine. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
and so what do you think?
But it won't be on the side. It won't be on the side of the car though. And it won't be in the team name.
No, obviously not. But so, what do you guys think of the meeting they had? I think it was yesterday, with all the people from the engine manufacturers, and they had
Porsche and Toyota.
Yeah. So
that is supposedly going to happen in 25.
Yeah, when they change to the new engines.
Yeah, and God knows what the fuck is going to happen over there. I mean, I don't know. We'll probably run with, I don't know, beer and manure. I don't know what they will be running. Probably is going to be cow shit and beer and stuff like that.
Well, it'll be lager because it's German, another German car manufacturer.
Porsche is based in the south, so we will see drivers in lederhosen. I'm afraid if that happens.
Yeah, no, I mean the issue really is, of course, is what what are the turbo regulations going to be? I mean, that's what it's all about, really, is deciding whether they're going to go for twin turbos or whether they just go for a single turbo, or what specs the turbo is going to run, how much engine recovery they use. Because, of course, like Porsche and Toyota are not going to want to run much engine recovery systems, right? So, not unless they get given the parts by Mercedes, anyway.
I'm curious because I would like to see a few more engines on the track. I think that could change things up a bit. I mean, now pretty much everyone has a similar engine. If Ferrari isn't doing well, the other teams aren't doing well. If Mercedes falls back, then you've got McLaren and Williams who struggle with the same engine. So I would like to see that, to see whether or not the smaller teams can get ahead by maybe getting a better engine. Who knows?
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But nonetheless, I would like to see it for sure. But bearing in mind the amount of money that the engine manufacturers pour into the sport, that's why they're in a dominating position. They've really nailed up the team side of the structure now. So whereas the teams used to get a lot of say about how the rules went, etc., through a different, I think it was called the FOM, was it? The Federation of Manufacturers or something like that. Oh no, the FOM is what it is. It used to be a team-based thing. Now it's the manufacturers themselves. So It's basically just the engine manufacturers deciding and talking with the FIA about the rules and what rules to bring in, etc. So until that structure gets changed, then there's not going to be much change at the front, because of course there's no way Mercedes or Porsche or Toyota and Honda obviously are pissed off about this, which is why they're really leaving, despite the fact they've now got an engine equivalent to the others. This politics in Formula One again isn't going to change anytime soon. Mainly because the amount of money that it costs to build one of these engines, right? So this is the issue here. How are you going to get engine manufacturers to give their engines to the lower teams at a discounted price, right? Without increasing the prize money, which the top teams don't want it to happen. And yeah, they've got some rebalance or redress in the system, but that still it means that the price Mercedes charge its race team to buy its engine, right? They can almost dictate the price.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas when they sell their engines to the other teams, then obviously they're going to want to make some money on them, or at least get their costs back on them.
Yeah.
So the whole system is screwed. And personally, I can't wait for this system to change and we get back to more the way it was, where it was the teams, 80% of the teams voting, which gave the decision. And I used to rail against Ferrari for that very same reason. It's because they would use their veto in that organisation to dictate policy, and that didn't work so well for me either then. But again, Formula One, it's not really a sport, is it? Let's face it. It's more of a spectacle.
It's spectacle, and it's politics and money. That's basically it.
Mostly.
Yeah, I would like to see. I would like to see a little bit more diversity, so things would mix up a little.
In order for you to have proper diversity, you got to have a book of rules which is consistent from year to year. So because if that happens, you can basically sell most of the car to other teams, which can drop down the cost, like ours did, like Williams did, and stuff like that. So they can bring down the cost and use it.
Force India,
yeah. But the only way, tracing point. But the only way you can do that is if you have consistent rules which are kind of fixed. Now, this is another problem because in Formula One, and it's the nature of the beast. There is a shitload of people which are like reading the rule book back and forth and and sideways to find the smallest advantage which lies over there. Now, I mean, if it's a small advantage, because that will always happen. That all happens everywhere. Even if you look in in the series where the car are all the same, there are only 2 or 3 engines. The richest team, of course, they got an advantage because of the fact that they can put more money in it, so they can test things a little bit more. So that will happen anyway. But the difference are small because the delta in performances is lower. So it's more open to things happening. Like now, I mean, Russell getting Q3 is something that I think I changed channel on the TV like 20 times. I say, okay, fuck, it's broken. It can't be. I mean, what the fuck is going on? Really? I mean, what am I looking at? Is it 1992? I mean, is it a rerun? But
dear, yeah.
But there is that. So
yeah. I think it was Kurt Russell. It wasn't George Russell.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Anyway, thank you so much. Is there anybody you want to finish up with there, Fabio? Okay, Peter. We're at Silverstone next week. Are you flying over to the Great Britain land?
I have to. I mean, I have to get the latest information from the pits, and that's you only can get that if you're actually there. So.
Okay. Well, as always, I'll meet you in Soho then, and. That'll be great. You can get some great British prostitutes So that'll be. They're all Russian these days, by the way, just to let you know.
Yeah, great British prostitutes. That's the thing. This is going to be the name of the channel from now on. You know, an oxymoron if I ever heard one. Great, which it's famous worldwide for.
Yeah, just Soho, absolutely. Anyway. So thank you very much, everybody. I think that was great. Thank you for everybody playing. Please remember to like the stream and hit the bell for further romance with my my channel. Thank you so much, Peter. We'll see you in Great Britain in 2 weeks. Oh, fucking hell, I don't even know. I'm going to have to look that up. Great Britain, 16th of July, 2 weeks' time, yeah. So we will see you in Great Britain in 2 weeks' time, and we're really looking forward to that. As Fabio says, we've got a new format, so they're going to be racing on the Saturday for half an hour or something. I don't know. It's just a quick trip down to the corner shop, basically. And that'll be very exciting. So, and thank you, Will, for turning up. Thank you so much, mate. We really appreciate the clicks and the like. Please remember to like, mate. And we will be seeing you next week. Other than that, I don't think there's much more to say.
No, we're not going to talk about Tottenham Hotspurs,
right?
I've
got to pay for my beer, so.
Okay. Yes, of course. And please. Please put comments in the chat as to who you think is going to win the bet, and obviously what IPA I should be sending to Fabio if I lose, and what fine Italian wine should he be sending to me if he loses?
Yeah.
And should Peter get any of the profits? That's the thing.
Oh, Peter's getting a prostitute from,
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. He's always happy. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Good British prostitute.
Right.
Thank you so much, everybody, and thank you. And ciao from me.
Ciao.
Okay, catch you later. Bye-bye.